Hi everybody, welcome back to Double Team. Today we're going to discuss the second part of our first impressions of the summer season. So, good and I guess good news, we didn't add anything extra, so we're
Yeah,
still at like the 10 and 10 10 and 10 shows per episode. So,
yeah,
um, that's
you
good.
behaved.
So, it's still a lot though, so I guess we can just jump right into it with the first one, which is Handa-kun.
Yeah, we did
So,
A to F last episode, so if you didn't watch that and you want to know our opinion on a show between the
mhm,
letters of A and, or rather numbers, because it started with 91
I
days,
guess, yeah.
between like the beginning and the letter F, we go to the previous episode.
I will link it down below as well so you can check out the first part. So, yeah, Handa-kun. I'm gonna ask you first because everyone knows I have big expectations for this one, so.
Yeah, I dropped Handa-kun halfway through episode 2.
Wow.
Yeah, like on one hand, I felt really guilty
Yeah.
because I wanted to like it because it's Handa.
hmm
So I was like, I want to give this a fair shot,
Yeah.
but I wasn't getting like anything out of it. So
hmm
basically, the first episode, half of the first episode doesn't really count. I've heard
It
it's not
doesn't at
part of the
all.
manga,
No,
is it?
it's not in the
So
manga.
it's just like a breaking the fourth wall kind of really weird setting up to the show.
hmm
Um, but even like disregarding that, I don't care about that part. I started watching the first episode when it properly started, and I was like, this is just gonna be a series of misunderstandings, like with him thinking everybody hates him and everybody being all over him,
Yeah.
like the entire time.
Mm.
And that's not a thing that appeals to me that much.
Yeah.
Even though I really like Handa-kun, this is not the version of Handa-kun I like. I
hmm
think it's a really cheap way, so to say, of making him a teenager and making something else out of it.
Yeah.
Because that's not the personality that he has in Barakamon at all.
Nope.
Um, so yeah, like, I think the reason that I didn't enjoy it is just it's not my type of comedy.
hmm Yeah.
So,
I would have
yeah.
guessed that because it's repetitive.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
So
we
yeah.
started, I was watching it with my boyfriend. We started episode 2 because I was like, I don't want to drop it right
hmm
away because that just feels wrong, not
hmm
giving it a chance to, like, have something else. But, like, I just didn't care about it. I was like, oh, he's gonna misunderstand this thing. Yep, that happened. The entire thing with the girls trying to confess and him
yeah.
thinking it's a fight. And I'm like, this is just not, there's nothing else that's gonna come out of this show for me.
hmm
So that's why. But
Okay.
I figured, like, usually we have very different tastes in comedy.
Yeah,
So,
we do. But still, for this one, I hated the first episode. So I
but
was,
because of the first part or because of,
especially because of the first part, I got super mad at it because it wasn't like the manga and it doesn't make sense at all because we don't know the characters yet.
yeah,
So it was just useless and it was wasting their time to make this anime good. And I think that's a shame because it's even stupid that they put the first part of the story with the girls in two parts as well, which wasn't needed at all. That's like only one chapter in the manga, so
yeah,
I don't get why they are doing that. Also, it seems to be going on a slow pace at first, and I don't like that because the manga is pretty fast paced and
yeah,
it's just like this happens and that's it, and that is what we need, and that is why I'm kind of disappointed in it. But I've seen 3 episodes now, and I have to say, episode 3 was so good though. So episode 3 was a lot better than the other ones that I've seen, which I'm very glad about. But when I read the manga, I also have to admit the first story was the weakest one with the
hmm,
girls, and it only got better from there. So I'm kind of hoping now that they will keep faithful to the manga. I really hope so, because
yeah.
episode 3 was done perfectly from the manga, which I was really happy about. And we've had 3 episodes and they still haven't finished the first volume, which I'm very glad about, that they're not rushing it too fast. So I don't know, we'll see. They are doing all of the small stories from the manga though, so I'm glad they're not skipping anything so far.
Yeah. Since, like, the way that you're saying, it does seem like the stories are relatively short. Do you think this would work better as a short form?
Oh yeah, I do think it would be better as a short.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like Sakamoto from last season. It has a lot of short stories, but I do think for Handa-kun it would work better as a short.
Yeah.
Because that way they won't have to like put it in 2 parts or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I think I would probably not have dropped it if it was shorter. I just don't get that much enjoyment out of this sort of comedy in such a like big episode.
Yeah, I get you, especially for this one.
Yeah.
So
I was sad because I wanted to like it, I had asked you before like if the manga was good, because I was, when it was announced I was like, yay, it's more Barakamon like related stuff, and then I was like, yeah, but it's probably gonna be weird, right? So I was really worried.
Yeah, but I was worried too though, but people who don't really like the anime so far, please read the manga. It's so much better for me. It's just so much better. Even the expressions and stuff on their faces is much better in the manga for me. And also, it's probably because I saw Barakamon, but I keep having Daisuke Ono, his voice on Handa-kun. I think it fits way better than the voice actor he has now. Although he is younger, like, I don't even care. I still have his normal voice that I hear from him. So I still need to kind of adjust to that, though, when it comes to that. Because also him acting a bit differently because of the voice actor, it kind of changes a lot, I think, for me and for other people.
Based on the manga, what should people expect? Like, imagine they watch the first 3 episodes or something. Is there a bigger story arc, or is it just a comedy manga and there's not going to be that much development?
It's just a comedy manga. There won't be too much development. There's going to be a little bit development with Handa and Fujiwara, his best friend, the blonde guy, but otherwise there's not too much. Then again, there's only 3 volumes out right now, and I've read 2, and so far he has had conversations with his best friend about the past and stuff, but or like what they want to do in the future, but it's nothing major, so I wouldn't expect too much from it. It's they made this because Handa is funny in Barakamon, and they just wanted to make more about him, so
yeah. I think I would get more out of like a slice of life with bits of comedy, like they always do, but the slice of life OVA explaining Handa's backstory than like this sort of show. But that's just my taste. Because I still want to know like how him and his best friend like became a thing.
Oh, you see that in episode 3 actually. They kind of go into the past about him and Fuji. I think it's Fujiwara. I always mess up his name. But yeah, him, the blonde guy. I do think that they got into it more in the manga, though, because when I saw it in the anime, it seemed very short. So I think in the manga they explain it a bit better, but yeah.
Okay, so...
Maybe you should just read that, because it's still in the first volume, so I mean... And it's a very fast read as well.
Yeah, I might just do that. I don't think like the tone of the anime is gonna make me enjoy it as much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next one is only for you.
Next one is Hatsukoi Monster, and this one, I have to admit, it's almost my favorite of the season so far. It's so insane and stupid that I love it so much. So it's about this guy, the guy on the picture you can see with his white hair. He is a 5th grader, but he looks like, you know, almost an adult or whatever. I don't know. Like, he looks 18, something like that. But no, he's not like that. They didn't explain anything yet. It's still weird. He looks... I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to explain this. He just walks around with other 5th graders. One of them is a real 5th grader who is actually a little kid. And then the other 2 are also guys who look 18. But also wear very tight shorts and their, you know, bookcases and all that stuff, like 5th graders. That sounds so weird. Yeah, it is. It is very weird. And then on top of that, it's also actually about this girl, the main character, that actually falls in love with the 5th grader, but she didn't know he was a 5th grader, and you know, it's all it begins with the typical misunderstanding, and then they end up being a couple anyways. So now she has to live with him in the same dorm.
That sounds so weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but it's so funny. I really like the comedy that's in there. Although I've seen 3 episodes now, and it did get a little bit weird because, you know, they are in a dorm with a lot of other people, and one of the guys is this guy who is like, oh, I don't like you being with this 5th grader, and blah, 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 and you shouldn't do that.
Well, because it's weird.
Yeah, no, but then he harasses her, and I'm like, no, you're not good either, so what are you doing? So it's like, when I saw that, I was like, I don't know if I should have expected this, or if this, you know, but in one way, I'm not surprised, so it doesn't really bother me so far, because I knew this would be weird. Yeah. So I don't mind, and I think it's kind of funny because he rescues her the whole time, like the 5th grader, and he's actually a really cool guy. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this one otherwise, but I do really enjoy it.
Who would you recommend it to? Would be my question.
Just I don't know, people who like Bishonen and like over the top comedy that doesn't make sense at all, something like that. Yeah. I would say that. But yeah, right. that's it. Okay, so next one is Mob Psycho 100.
I've watched 2 episodes and I like it so much. It's so good.
I didn't like it too much.
Why?
Because the first episode didn't make sense at all, and it was all over the place, and I was so confused, and then also, the first part was only about the weird guy and not about the main character. We only saw the main character, like, at the end of the first episode, which annoyed me, because I was like, this is about Mob, but this is not about you. So, that annoyed me. Then I did check the second episode out, and I did like that a lot better than the first one. But still, I guess I expected it to be funnier. It's not that funny as I thought it would be. So I think I just expected too much One Punch Man kind of comedy, I guess. But it's different. I feel like it's different.
It's different, but to me it has a lot of similarities. Like, a lot of those, the expression makes it funny moments used to have
they have that, yeah.
Just like the completely out of the blue OP situations or like the weird monster of the week things. You still get all of that. So you can definitely tell that it's the same
you can definitely
creator. So I'd say like there are some similarities. Obviously the overall theme is different, but and it's gonna play out differently. But I really like it. I like the wacky art style. I like just the pacing of it is really interesting. Even though we don't know that much yet, I'm interested to know what happens when the meter reaches 100 and Mob goes insane or something like that. I don't know. I really like it. The thing that might tire me the most, I would say, is the routine between the master being like, I don't have any powers and I need to cover up my bullshit.
Yeah, that is what annoys me
and
the
Mob
most.
not, like, noticing.
Yeah.
Or maybe noticing, but I feel like because of the meter and all of that, that's building up, that things are gonna change and it's not gonna feel the same throughout the show. I think there's, like, it's not a routine type of thing. Just the first 2 episodes because you're setting up the entire thing.
I guess.
Well, I really, really liked it. I understand your point of view about the comedy, though. It's not that the type of comedy that you watch and you're just laughing your ass off. It's not. It's just quirky and interesting.
Yeah.
And over the top, and I like it because of that. But if that's not your type of comedy, like, I totally understand. But it's interesting, though, because you really like One Punch Man.
Yeah, One Punch Man is, like, one of my favorites, but I think it's just because of the character. Like, the master, I really don't like him. He just annoys me a lot. So I'm just kind of hoping that he will change because of Mob, or that something will happen between the two. Because right now I just can't handle seeing Mob like that, being used, and then the other guy having that ego about him. I just don't like characters like that. So
I usually don't either, but in this case it works for me so far. If it turns out that's all there is to the show, maybe I won't remember it as fondly as I do right now, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
I was interested in Mob, though. I think he is a very interesting character. I like how they showed him with his family, like how that goes on and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm also very interested in him and the girl, because it's obvious that he likes one of the girls at his school. And he kind of wants to, like...
The only one who is drawn as, like, a pretty girl.
Yeah.
All of the others have weird faces.
Yeah. And I'm interested in that. I think that's cool that they put that little romance aspect in there as well.
Yeah, I do like it, and I already liked it in One Punch Man, but just a juxtaposition of normal life things, and in this case it's school related things and young teenager things, with like the crazy OP monster of the week that like is just weird and silly, and because you had that in One Punch Man as well, of him like going grocery shopping or doing stuff that's like really normal and boring, and then you have the craziest shit, and I think it works very well.
Okay. So the next one is one that you checked out, which is called Nejimaki Seirei Senki.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on it. It's growing on me. Basically, I guess I would say it's a strategy, like, type of historical fantasy thing. So you have, like, this main guy whose dad used to be, like, a very important general. And you have this nation is at war with that nation. And because of his past, which we don't know that much yet, we just know, like, his father and blah, blah, blah. He doesn't want to be linked to the military at all. But through a series of events, he ends up kind of being forced to being part of the military. And so right now it's the whole, like, they're in an academy training to be, like, the top military people. So there's a lot of strategy and, like, war analysis and stuff like that, but you also have a lot of this is a private school kind of feeling, and these are the guys who want to be on top, and they're kind of jerks. You have, like, all of that. And then you have, like, several very tropish characters, I guess. If you watch, like, the opening, you can basically point at people and know what they are.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is Boobs Girl. This is the guy who is, like, super huge, but he's also, like, really gentle at heart. You have, like, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting more interested. I've watched 3 episodes. Because now that they arrived at, like, the school setting and all of that, you get to see the main character being a sassy motherfucker all the time. Like, he's super cynical, and he retorts to everybody, and it's really unexpected sometimes. Like, last episode, there was a character, and she was like, "You should know me," and he was like, "Why?" And she was like, "You slept with my mother," and you go like, "Oh, wait,
I saw that picture, yeah."
Okay, this is a thing. And he just, like, it's not like a huge anime shocking moment. He doesn't go like, "Ah!" It's like, yeah, like, so what? So it's totally normal for him. Wow. Or you have him, like, being really sassy towards, like, the upperclassmen that think they're the hottest shit. So his character for me is making the show right now.
Okay.
Other than that, I think the show takes itself far too seriously for what it is. It does every, like, official story building element needs to have a very huge, insanely unpronounceable name. So I don't know the name of places or family members or anything like that, because everybody has weird names.
Yeah.
You also have like the people with the crazy hair color are important characters thing. The rest is just normal. But it's fine. Like I'm not expecting that much out of it, but the main character is carrying the show for me right now. I'm interested in the strategy part, but I do think they're overdoing the seriousness of the show because it's not that great, and they're treating it as if it's that great. So we'll see. But I'm not planning on dropping it right now.
Okay.
I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna love it, but it's also not like you can watch it. Okay. And I'm like curious to see how they tie the elements together, if they do at all, because you have some like steampunk elements, you have some like little fairies that I have no idea what they are, but they're there and they're like Teletubbies and there's light coming out of their belly sometimes. And I don't know. So I wouldn't recommend it per se. I would wait until like at the end of the season, look for what people are saying about the show and then decide.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, next up we have Orange. Yay! So this is the romance or like slice of life of the season.
I love
that
it.
everyone is checking out.
So good. And it's gonna make me suffer so much. I'm already so sad.
Yeah. This is gonna be a sad one. So for people who don't know, it's about a girl who receives letters from her future self, and it's about her warning herself about things that are going to happen, and she kind of needs to like prevent them and all of that. So I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil like the big thing, but you know. Yeah,
it's a slice of life drama, like coming of age thing, and romance as well. So it's not like the apocalypse is coming, you need to stop this. It's more like these are my regrets
in life
when I'm older. So you who are my younger self maybe can change this still.
It's very interesting. I think it's really nice how they do it.
It's definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite right now.
Same. I really love the characters. The characters are just like so lovely, and I love the art for Orange as well. It's perfect so far.
It's really pretty. It's sometimes not as extreme, but it has a little bit of the art style of like Futaba and Co. from.
They do from RElife. Yeah, true.
But not that extreme that it becomes like this super shoujo thing. It's just it's not that type of thing. It's more like a general in the middle slice of life drama romance. I really like how they're doing the whole letter thing. I know that some people have complained that like who the hell reads one sentence at a time kind of thing. To me, my interpretation, and maybe that's just my like suspension of disbelief and not necessarily like what's going on, but my interpretation is that she read the whole letter, but you're only being shown like sections at a time because otherwise it wouldn't work. And the reason I think she read the whole letter also is that whenever she's talking about letter things, it doesn't happen the same context as what the scene is showing. So for instance, you'll have a scene in the school and you have a snippet of the letter before and in her room. So that has to happen like in a different time. So I think she read everything, but she's like remembering pieces as they happen. So that's how I explain it. I understand if people say, no, you're just like justifying it for yourself, like that's totally fine. But I think it works.
I think it works too. I think that makes more sense as well. So, I mean, I don't mind, because otherwise they would spoil us about everything anyways if they would read the whole letter, so it's best.
They totally had to do it like this. It pieces a lot better. I really like the characters. I really like the character interactions. They set it up really nicely, even though they didn't spend like that much time. The way that they showed the characters together and some of the character montages of like them interacting worked really, really well. Yeah,
it's also nice to see them because they already show like scenes from them being adults, which I think is very interesting.
From the beginning. It's not even a spoiler. Like, from the beginning, you know, there's the adult version, and, like, you don't know why. We don't know why she got a letter from her future self.
Yeah.
But you know, there are those 2 times.
And it's not confusing, so I think they did it good, because you can really see the difference from when they are adults and when they are younger, which is good.
I really, really like it. What else? This show is gonna hurt real bad. It's already hurting really bad.
Yeah.
Like, this last episode, I was already, like, flipping tables, getting really upset. Like, not bawling yet, because there's not that much that has happened yet, but, like, drama-wise, but already getting really upset at stuff. And it's only beginning. It's just... It's frustrating, but it's really pretty, and it's also very down to earth.
Oh, yeah. True.
If you ignore, like, the fact that she has information from the future.
Well, yeah.
It's very down to earth. I think they behave mostly like their age. So it's like stuff, and the interactions are believable.
Yeah.
You have a lot of, like, banter between the friends. You have a lot of people that don't say what they think or stuff like that. So
yeah, it's
watch
good.
it. It's great.
Watch it. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It does. So yeah, I
And
recommend it to everyone.
The main 2 characters are adorable, and everything's gonna go to shit, and I'm really scared. It's beautiful.
Okay, well, the final impressions will have tears, but you know, that's for later.
I will save my tissues from when I watch the finale to show you the final impression. Like, this is how much I cried.
All right. So moving on, we have RElife, which has already finished actually. But I haven't seen the whole
thing. It's just published all at once.
Yeah.
Basically.
So RElife is basically about a guy who can't get a job anymore. He's just struggling in life in general. So
it's like 27?
Yeah, he's 27 or 28, something like that. And then he meets this guy who offers him the RElife bill, which gives him a chance to go back to his I think, is it high school years?
I think so. You basically have to go through a year of high school.
So it's like an experiment that he has to do for the RElife center or whatever it is. So yeah, he's doing that, and it's basically about him going back to high school, being 27.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's basically an experiment that's supposed to help the needs, so like the non-employed, like people in Japan and stuff like that. But his mind is still the same. It's just like he looks younger and he goes to school and then he takes the pill and that's it.
Yep. So,
what do you think of... I don't know how much you watched. I watched 2 episodes so far, I think.
I've seen 8 episodes already.
Okay.
But
a lot more.
I need to admit the first few episodes were really good. I really enjoyed it. But later on it kind of went down for me. It kind of got boring for me. So I don't really know what to think about it so far. I think for me it was just like a chill slice of life kind of show that has a little bit of comedy and a little bit of romance thrown into there, but not too much romance. I thought there would be more romance, but and drama. There's some drama coming up as well, which is kind of expected, but I don't know. I really don't know what to think about it because I liked it so much. I think I made the mistake of kind of marathoning it. I probably shouldn't have done that. So that's why I'm kind of keeping it on hold now on episode 8.
Why did you think it got boring to you?
Because, I don't know, I guess it's because of the drama. Maybe because I watched too much after each other and it was kind of... It's not repetitive because it is a full story. It's just... very slice of lifey, I guess. I don't know. This is it's a weird one to explain for me because I know a lot of people who actually did like it, and don't get me wrong, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think this is a show you should marathon.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna watch more episodes, like maybe weekly or every 2 weeks, and then maybe my thoughts will change because I don't think it's bad, and I do like the story, and I do like what they're doing with the pill, and the other students are interesting and all that stuff, but I think it's also the part that I don't have too much information yet and I just want to know more. It's probably something like that as well. So, yeah.
I would agree that you shouldn't marathon it. At least that's my feeling. Like, we watched the first episode and I didn't feel the need to, like, watch more instantly. And the same after the second, even though I thought the second was better than the first one. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay, it's good. I don't want to be too hard on it. I'm not sure where it's going.
Yeah.
Is kind of the thing. My biggest problem with the first 2 episodes, less episode 2 but more episode 1, is how you have the whole, he's 27 in his brain, but then he's put into this school context, and like he will blush at like schoolgirls looking at him or talking to him, or like you have a lot of, I guess it just doesn't fit with the whole premise that he's actually like almost 30 and he's an adult premise, and that kind of takes me out of the immersion. I know it's hard like to play the whole I'm an adult and still get the school interactions and stuff, but it just sometimes makes it weird for me.
Yeah, I get you.
Apart from that, like, episode 2 introduced something that I thought was more interesting, and I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, basically the overall idea is that this is a program, it's not just for this guy.
Yeah.
So for me, it's interesting trying to understand who is the character that's actually an adult that's also in there or not, and all of that. I think I know at least some things at this point.
Yeah,
but
you could kind of tell from the second episode. I get what you mean. I had the same thing.
So that's interesting, and that does make it a little bit better to know that some of the interactions are actually between adults, and it's not as weird. But it's still like something that I have to actively remind myself to like that it's not like I can't just look at it and go like it's weird or I won't enjoy the show. But it is interesting, and I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. I think it's different than what I was expecting is the biggest thing.
Same for me. I think I expected a lot more comedy as well because of the whole thing with the pill and him being younger than he is.
I think I expected it to be more serious.
Oh, okay.
So
I think it's just in the middle now.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the middle. Yeah. I don't know. Like the whole show is out. If you're curious,
it's on Crunchyroll, so you can check it out.
It's fine. But I don't know if I recommend it or not.
Yeah, same. I'm not too sure. I think I need to finish it, and then in my final impressions, I can probably tell people like, okay, this is worth it or not. Yep. So that is RElife. Next up is Servamp. And I have to say thank you, Random, for recommending me this.
Yeah, he was like, "Is Thalia watching this?" And I wasn't sure. But I said you probably should, and then he tweeted at you.
Yeah, I'm so glad he did because I wasn't checking it.
You did good, boyfriend. You did good.
Yeah, I wasn't checking it out because I remember, I think it was Erin who was like, "Oh, are you gonna check out Servamp?" And I'm like, "I don't like vampires at all in shows." And she's like, "But there's like a cat and stuff." And I'm like, "I don't know if I will check this out." And then Random was like, "Okay, you need to check this out." I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. So,
I'm glad you did.
Oh god,
it's so trashy. It
is. Oh my god, the Bishonen and stuff, and like the vampires and so many cliches, and then
You know what's the best part for me is that somebody in that meeting room when they were thinking this up, or the creator, whatever, was like, I can do a show about vampires, or I can do a show about guys who are cute animals, or I can do a show about the 7 deadly sins. Wait, I'm gonna do everything.
Yeah. Oh man.
So it's just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, how do you even explain it? It's just about a guy who kind of finds a vampire, but the vampires can make a pact with a human being, and then
it's
that
a
makes
show
them
about vampires.
Servamp.
Yeah, you have pacts with humans. You have some vampire attacks.
Yeah.
In the area, and it just happens that he kind of runs into it, and his life is changed because suddenly there are vampires everywhere, and people he used to know are vampires, and people he didn't know are vampires, and everybody's a vampire, and they're all guys.
Yep, it's Bishonen. It's Bishonen Palace. I promise you.
there's a lot of yaoi bait there. If you're looking for it, it's there. You can read into it. And then, like, just the fact that you can look at the characters and be like, oh, this is, like, ultra edgelord. And this is the guy who's gonna be stripping all the time. And he's
my god, he's so
and
good.
He's fabulous. And he's a butterfly.
Isn't his name Lily or something like that?
Yeah, it's Lily.
Oh god, he's amazing. I love
Or,
him.
like, you have... Just the characters are so, I guess, outrageous and ridiculous that you can't even take it seriously. Like in, was it episode 2 that you're introduced to a different guy who is also involved with vampires, and he is, and he is like a rich boy, but he's also lonely and has no friends, and he's super like naive, and he's so happy because now he has a friend, and he's also like at the same time super tsundere, and he's also a know-it-all with glasses, and you're like. He's everything.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like in that episode, he went from like I'm so much better than you and I have a chair all the time, to like he's my friend and I'm gonna defend him with Lily. It's so silly.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
Me too. I love the characters just so much, especially the main character, but the cat. I forgot his name. Kuro. He's amazing. Yeah.
Is there another name in anime for black cats?
But yeah, Kuro is amazing. I love him.
Yeah.
He reminds me of L from Death Note, because he's like sad, not sad, like kind of he looks depressed the whole time, but then he can kind of change, and he's a cat, so.
It's just. Like, they just have everything thrown into it. And it doesn't even work that well, but it's so amusing.
It's just so funny. I think the comedy is amazing.
It's the trash show of the season to watch.
Yeah. Amazing. Everyone needs to watch this.
I'm so looking forward to getting more reveals. And you can, like, see things from a mile away, too, in this show. That's something that I have to say.
True.
You're like, this is gonna happen, and like 2 episodes later it happens. You're like, yep.
But you don't mind, because you never know in a way how they will do it. So.
Well, why would you mind? There's nothing solid about this show. There's nothing to get upset about, because you know it's gonna be trashy.
Yeah.
Episode 3, I guess, out of all of them, was the one that gave me less satisfaction as my trash to go. 1 and 2 I found a lot more satisfying.
Okay. I haven't seen episode 3 yet, so...
Because that's the problem. If you're watching trashy shows, it can go one of 2 ways. If they take themselves super seriously, sometimes it makes it, like, sillier and it's better.
Yeah.
Or they take themselves sort of seriously and they're trying to sort of do something, and you're like... like I like you better when you're not trying to be an anime.
Yeah, gotcha.
So we'll see, but I'm just enjoying the train wreck that is this show.
Same. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so
next one's season 2.
Yeah.
Or is it?
It's season 2 of Shokugeki no Souma. So they jumped right into it, so...
That's the thing. Like, that's what I was going on and on about on Twitter the other day.
I saw.
It's not a season 2 at all.
It doesn't feel like it at all.
It's like the next episode.
Yeah. That's
because
exactly what
the last show stopped on a cliffhanger and, like, halfway through a competition. So they just, like, here, this is the next match out of it.
Yeah.
You don't have any, like, picking up where they left, like, introduction. You don't have anything, like, trying to get you involved again. It's just, like, yeah, we're starting the match like right now,
Uh-huh.
and now it's done. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's in a year.
I know, right? It didn't feel like it's been so long. It just felt
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I'm just continuing to watch this show.
I
Which
think
I don't mind, to be honest.
I don't mind, but it's annoying to me that we had a break. Because
Yeah.
this season is going to be really short, first
Mhm.
of all, because they're just finishing where they left off.
Yeah.
And secondly, I think Soma is so, like, it's so ridiculous a lot of the times
Mhm.
that the fact that they broke it there and then just pick off where they left without any sort of introduction, I didn't feel like I had the time to get into that, like, mindset of, oh yeah, Soma does like this absolutely ridiculous clothes are flying off shit.
Mhm.
So it was just there instantly, and I didn't have some time to like get back into the hype.
Yeah.
But like that was like just the first episode, or like the first half of the first episode. I felt like that,
Yeah.
and now I'm on board again. But I do
Mhm.
feel like if you're gonna watch Soma, it's much better to watch it now that you can just watch everything like in a row.
Yeah.
Without having that artificial break, because it's not a thing that exists. It's not an actual break.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's so good. It's still so good.
Of course, it's so.
I like it so much.
Me too.
They're going like super hardcore to begin with.
Yeah, of course, because I mean, they're still in a competition and it's pretty hyped.
Yeah.
So.
It's like the top 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do like. I don't know. Are you caught up?
No, I've only seen the first episode of the second season, so.
I
Still
feel
need to
like
see more.
it's doing the thing in which you know which person's gonna win because they have to, even if they're not necessarily cooking better.
Yeah.
Like you're like, this dish is amazing, crazy, and it has all of these techniques, but this one is like one of the important characters. Of course.
Yeah.
Like there's something in the dish that's gonna be amazing, but you as an audience member, you're like, but the other one looked really crazy.
I know. I still have that too. I mean, but that's Soma, so I kind of got used to it now.
Oh yeah.
I know who's gonna win.
Yeah, of course. Like, it's not, I don't think it's a problem in the show.
No.
It's just something that I noticed more because I was out of the Soma train for a while, and now I'm coming back in. Because I only, like, I noticed that a lot more when I started watching this season, and now, like, I don't care anymore because it's Soma. And I watched 4 episodes straight up, and they felt super short.
Yeah, it did go by very fast.
They keep doing the whole cliffhanger after cliffhanger thing. So I just need more Soma. This would be a great show to marathon. If you haven't watched season 1, like this season 1 was 2 core. This season is 1 core. So just wait to the end and then just watch all of it.
Yeah.
That would be my recommendation.
For sure.
If you're caught up, then just watch it because it's more of that competition.
Yep. Okay. So that's Soma. We both enjoy it, so we both recommend Shokugeki no Soma or Food Wars to everyone. So next one is Tales of the Zestria the X. I have to admit, I already dropped this one. So
okay. I didn't start it. It didn't seem interesting to me.
I mean, it's from the games, the Tales of games, which I do enjoy, but I haven't played all of them at all. So I was kind of hoping, like, should I go into this not having played this game? So I don't really know anything about it. So I was wondering if it would be possible for me to start it. But knowing it was Ufotable, I kind of was like, I have faith in Ufotable for their animation. And I do have to say the animation is perfect in the series. But it didn't keep me watching. So for a lot of people, the fact that it is Ufotable, people keep watching. I don't know why, but you know.
with God Eater.
Yeah,
I learned my lesson there.
Well, I just look at the story every time. It doesn't matter what studio it does it for me. But for this one, there's also an episode 0, like they did with Fate Stay Night. But it's not like an hour long. It's like 25 minutes, and then you have episode 1. So I watched both of those, and episode 0 kind of made sense because it's more like a backstory as to how episode 1 will start. But then episode 1 started, and a lot more characters got introduced, and we didn't know where they came from, and they only introduced one character in episode 0, so it was confusing for me, and I just didn't get the whole thing. So, I don't know. I just saw a lot of comments also on the series, like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna keep watching. And I'm not that kind of person. Like, if I don't know what's going on in 2 episodes, I'm not gonna keep watching. So, I just kind of stopped it there, because I feel like I would just rather play the games than watch the series.
Yeah. I didn't start it because I felt like either the anime was going to be aimed at the gamers of the show, the series, and I haven't played them, so I wouldn't get that much out of it, or it would be an adaptation of the game into an anime, and there's very few that I've watched that I think did it right. Usually game adaptations kind of fall short. So I wasn't really interested, even though it does look gorgeous, and I've seen screen caps and all of that, and everybody says it looks amazing.
It looks amazing,
but I'm not that interested in going into it, so.
Yep, so, yeah, I don't know. I guess I recommend it for people who really like the Tales of franchise. I mean, if you do like that, check it out, but
I'm sure
if you don't
be
know
watching.
much, if you don't know too much about it, I guess just leave it out there and play the games instead. Last one is Tsukiuta the animation. So I also checked this one out just before we recorded because there's 2 idol shows this season, and it's this one and the one we talked about last week.
Of them.
So between B Project from last week and Tsukiuta that I checked out, I prefer B Project from last week. Because Tsukiuta has... Wait, let me count the guys. There's 12 guys in this one, which is even more. Also, it's CGI dancing, and I was cringing so much when I saw that, and it's so bad.
Is the entire thing CGI or just the dancing?
Just the dancing is CGI, but the thing is, there's dancing in the beginning of the episode, and every end of the episode they stop with a song as well, and then there's the ending song after it as well. So it's too much CGI at once for me, but I do have to admit, if I skip those CGI bits and the show is fine. So what I tend to do is I skip the opening song, then it's normal animation, the guys are getting along, you get to know more about them, because it's about 2 idol groups working together basically and living at the same dorm, so it's just about that. But the characters are cool. I do like some of the characters that are in there. But then the ending song where one of the groups needs to perform, I always skip. I never watch it because it cringe. I just cringe the whole time when I check it out. Or I either let it play and don't look at the animation so I don't get annoyed, because I do like the songs. I just don't like the animation that goes with it. But otherwise, there's no CGI in there, which is fine. So... I don't know. It just makes me wonder why they have to use CGI for the dancing. Like, why are they lazy to make the dances like normal? I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of laziness. Usually, it's like an artistic choice, or like I think you can do CGI a lot faster. So that can be like the production part of the show might decide, like, we need to do this in the best way or something. I don't know, like, I'm not that illuminated when it comes to how the industry works in Japan. So it's like there are other people you can ask about those things. For sure. They know a lot. But for me, it's usually, I think it's just a choice that they make at that point.
I mean, it would make sense because there were a lot of songs in there and it would go faster for them to make it. But honestly, for me, in my opinion, I'd rather have them just draw it and have more simple movements than that they have like the unique and fast movements with the CGI. Because, I don't know, there's just this charm about the normal animation that I really appreciate. And when it's CGI, I just cannot take it seriously, especially when they focus on the faces. It just... looks
my preference
so weird.
Tends to be the same.
Yeah, but yeah, otherwise the show is fine. I do enjoy it. I do like the characters. So yeah, if you don't like CGI, just skip the parts because it's obvious when they are coming up. So
Is B Project entirely hand drawn?
yeah, so
Okay.
far, so far it's been all hand drawn. So I mean, for that one, I don't have any complaints.
All right, we made it.
We made it! Yay!
All right. So comments about all of these shows are welcome.
Mm-hmm.
We might check out other shows, but probably not. So if you
Yeah.
have something we really, really have to watch that's not on this episode or the other episode, you can recommend them. Maybe.
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
look at it.
Mm-hmm. That
So-
sounds good. For the next episode, we will see. I will put it in the description below, so you
Yeah.
can see what the next episode is. And we will be back as usual on Sundays. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you soon. Bye.